Hello, guys, and welcome to Let's Talk. Today we have a special guest. I have my aunt with me. Auntie Sonia, thank you so much for joining me on Let's Talk. Do you mind just giving the viewers, telling the viewers a little bit something about yourself and what's your passion?
Okay, my name is Sonia Carroll. I'm Kirona's aunt, as she said, her mother's sister, older sister. Um, my passion is natural medicine, and the focus is on healing the body, regenerating the body through diet and lifestyle, permanent changes, as opposed to just addressing symptoms, putting band aids on symptoms or temporary adjustments. This is a passion that I've taken after my formal professional life, which I had in New York, as a diplomat at the United Nations. And now I've moved to a country setting where I practice natural medicine. I have had that passion for years, over 30 years, on the side of my professional life. I've always pursued it. I've always been fascinated by it. I can give you a little background as to how I started in it. When I was just a teenager, about 17 years old, after completing high school, my mom sent us to college in Jamaica. And at that college, it was a vegetarian campus. And that was new to me, vegetarianism. I had never practiced vegetarianism before. But I was fascinated by it. It made sense to me, the concept, eat things that come from the ground, because we come from the dirt too, if you believe in the creation story, that we were made from the soil. And I tried to learn more about it. But I guess when I went further into it was when my mom died, very young, which is your grandmother, at the age of 50. And it bothered me for quite a while. I said, my mom did not have to die that young. There had to be a solution to this. She died from colon cancer, and it was maybe diet and lifestyle related, And I started researching more into it and finding out there must be a solution to this. And that brought me on a path of natural medicine, healing through your diet and your lifestyle. And my first guinea pig was my brother, John, my younger brother, which is your uncle. He had, then I think I was in my 20s. I had finished college and I was at home working. Home for us was St. Lucia then. And he had a sore throat. His tonsils were inflamed and they were swollen, and he had difficulty swallowing, eating, and he was in a lot of pain. He went to the doctor and they put him on a course of antibiotics, and it gave him little relief, just a little, but he was not cured. And again, I said, there must be a cure for this thing, So I went into then my health Bible, which was called Back to Eden by Jethro Kloss. And I looked it up, and they said to gargle with golden seal. So I got golden seal and I made a solution for him and had him gargle with it. And it healed him. It went away, completely. And that piqued my interest. And I kept on delving further and further and deeper into natural medicine. So that has been a passion for me that I've pursued on the side since then, and after my professional career, now full time.
Yes, that's so interesting, especially since like now we are facing a pandemic, right? So is there any like important steps that people can take in regard to health to help them in this COVID virus?
Yes, the important thing is, and again, it is not just specific to COVID. We have to look at it holistically. So it is just your health in general and your immune system, keeping your immune system strong, keeping your body clean, keeping your mind clear, because there is a direct relationship between the mind and the body. We are multidimensional beings. There's a social aspect, a spiritual aspect, a physical aspect. So in this COVID environment, I would encourage people to keep their bodies clean, to detox regularly, and strengthen the immune system. And you do that through your dieting. You do that through the foods that you eat, And should you be deficient, then you do that through herbal supplementation, your teas and your herbs, etc., to strengthen the system so it can withstand. Our bodies were made, we have viruses around us all the time. Our bodies were made to withstand those things. Our bodies were made to deal with them if they're naturally occurring. We can deal with them and we can withstand them, but we have to give the body the nutritional support that it needs to do that.
Mhm. Yeah, you mentioned something about detox. What is an example of like a detox that someone who's new to detox can try?
Okay, again, there are about 7 channels of detoxing that we should look at. If you're detoxing the entire system, there is the respiratory system, which we know is one of those vulnerable to the COVID. We are told that it is a respiratory ailment. And that you do through deep breathing. So you need an infusion of oxygen in the lungs. I know there has been a lot of emphasis on staying indoors and lockdowns and social distancing, etc. You can do that, yes, but safely. But also, you need oxygen. You cannot just stay locked up in your room with just breathing in the same stale air that is being, recycled into your house or your apartment, wherever you are. You need to go outside in your yard, in your own safe environment, and you need to deep breathe oxygen that cleanses the lungs, that cleanses the blood, the whole system. So that is your respiratory system. Then we have our lymphatic system, and our lymphatic system, the best and most effective way of detoxing that is through a rebounder, or what we call a trampoline. So you jump on the trampoline because it needs movement in order to detox it, or unless you go to a certified massage therapist that can detox it for you through massaging. But that is the lymphatic system. You can do it on the trampoline or the rebounder. Then we have the blood. The blood you can detox through green juicing or chlorophyll in the liquid form, or there are certain herbs like in the burdock family, that can detox the blood, because the blood circulates through the entire system. It affects the entire body, all of the organs, the brain, the heart, etc. So it is important to keep that blood clean. So you need to detox the blood, and you can do that through chlorophyll or the green juicing. You juice greens, and that detoxes the blood. The green juice is the closest thing in terms of molecular structure, etc., to our blood. The only difference is the molecule that gives the grass the green, and our blood, the hemoglobin that gives it the red. Everything else is identical. So it is more like blood infusion. When you juice green or you take the chlorophyll, it detoxes and it builds the blood. So that's the lymphatic system. We did the blood and we did the respiratory system. Let's look at the kidneys, our urinary system. Again, the blood goes through the kidney filters, the blood on a daily basis, minute by minute basis. And we have to occasionally detox it and relieve it of all of those toxins accumulating in the kidneys. And the fastest and quickest way of doing that, again, naturally, you buy parsley, organic parsley, and you get distilled water. You bring the distilled water to a boil, you drop the parsley in there, and you do not boil it. You shut off the water once it comes to a boil. You put the parsley in there and you cover it with a lid and let it steep like a tea. And that would be your liquid intake for the day. You drink it all day, systematically, every hour, a glass, until you finish it, and it flushes out your kidneys. It detoxes the kidneys. Another important organ for detoxing is your liver. The liver is one of the most important organs after the heart and the brain in the body. And you need to occasionally detox the liver and relieve it of all of those toxins that accumulate in there. And an effective way of doing that for those that care to go that route is a coffee, an organic coffee enema. If not, then you can also detox the liver through lemon juice. You can detox the liver through dandelion root tea. You can detox the liver through milk thistle tea. There are many ways of detoxing the liver, but the liver also needs to be relieved of toxins. Then we look at the last one, which is the colon. our elimination system. And this we do through fiber. So you can get, again, organic psyllium husk or any form of fiber bulk that will sweep out the colon for you. And that you have to be properly hydrated so that it can come out, easily through the system. But you need to also relieve the colon of buildup, especially if you do not eliminate regularly and on time. Your colon needs to be relieved of a buildup of toxins. After you have done the fiber, you can also take some charcoal to absorb those toxins that are in the colon. So it is a total body detox that we should do to relieve the body, and it's a boost to energize it. And then we start building it up after we detox, building it up through juicing and through proper nutrition and dietary changes. It gives us that resistance and buildup of white blood cells, so that when we are attacked by any virus or bacteria, the body is able to naturally fight it off.
So, what are some things that people should not do in this pandemic in terms of health? Is there any like certain foods that they should stay away with, or some certain health practices that they should avoid?
Yes, the number one is, as I said, do not close up yourself in a closed house or an apartment all the time. Yes, there is a shutdown. Yes, you obey the rules, but at the same time, you have to use common sense. You need fresh air, you need the sun, you need the vitamin D. These things are important for your immune system. So these you have to do. You cannot be shut up and breathing in stale air all the time, or not getting vitamin D unless you're supplementing, vitamin D. But you need those things. You have to be careful too of your sugar intake, because sugar depresses the immune system. So at this time, you want to keep your sugar intake on the low. And when I say sugar, I'm talking about refined sugars, processed sugars, the cakes and the cookies and the donuts and the white bread products and the white pasta products, etc. Things that are sugar added to them, as opposed to the natural sugar that you get in fruits or in honey that can be of nutritional value or therapeutic to you. So sugar you want to keep on the low too. Salt you want to keep on the low too. Things that depress the immune system. You should not be depriving yourself of sleep at this time, because that's when the body heals and repairs and maintains itself, especially 2 hours before midnight. So sleep, you should make sure that you're getting adequate sleep. You should not keep yourself dehydrated right now. Your body is majority 75, 85% water, your brain even a higher percentage. And you have to keep fully hydrated every day. And there's a formula for that. They said usually it is half your body weight. So I'm 120 pounds, so it's about 60 ounces a day. And it's not necessarily just plain water, but liquids. It can be my juicing, it can be my herbal teas, and it can be water, a combination of all the three to get my 60 ounces for the day. So you have to keep fully hydrated, because everything takes place in a liquid form in the body. We are made up of trillions of cells. The cells are so minute, you cannot even see them with your naked eye. But yet still everything has to enter those cells. Your nutrients, the blood, the water, everything has to enter those cells. So everything takes place on a cellular level and in a liquid form. And therefore, your body has to maintain that level of hydration so that these processes take place in your body at ease. So hydration is key. You have to keep up your hydration level. And there is also a systematic way in which you should hydrate. Your body can only process about 4 ounces of water at a time, or 4 ounces of liquid. So every 30 minutes, you should be drinking at least 4 ounces every 30 minutes. If according to your level of activity, if you're a personal trainer, if you're doing construction work, if you're sweating a lot, then you need to up that, and maybe more often, every 15 minutes, maybe 10 ounces or so. Depends on your level of activity. But I'm talking about just an average person now, at least 4 ounces every 15 minutes. And that's what your body can process at any one time. Some people just gulp down a whole bottle of water. No, then you find that you have to urinate very often, because your body will just process the 4 ounces that you can use at that time, and then it will just flush out the rest. And it's not good for your electrolytes either, because you're flushing them out of your system. So if you systematically, throughout your waking hours, throughout the day, 4 ounces every 15 minutes, or 8 ounces every half hour or so. Your body will be constantly hydrated and constantly be taking care of all its processes at ease and not under stress or duress. So some of these important things that we should be doing now and we should not be doing in terms of not allowing our body to be hydrated, in terms of depriving ourselves of sleep, depriving ourselves of oxygen, and the sun, vitamin D.
Yeah, so you mentioned vitamin D and you mentioned water. Is there also any like additional minerals that people can take to help boost their immune system as well?
Yes, there is vitamin C, which is very important, and vitamin C is not toxic. You cannot OD on it. You cannot get overdose on it. It won't become toxic in your body. So you can take 10,000 units of it if you want in a day, 2,000, 1,000 in the morning, 1,000 in the evening. But you must keep your vitamin C level up because the body does not heal without adequate levels of vitamin C. And the vitamin C is like a glue for the cells. So those cells, the building of the cells, because almost every 6 months we have a new body. We are constantly regenerating. New cells are being built, new organs, etc. So the organs in the skin and that you have right now is not what you were born with. Your body is constantly regenerating, and we have to give it the nutritional support, those elements and those minerals that it needs to constantly regenerate itself and to constantly heal and to maintain and to make new cells. So vitamin C is very important because that's what keeps the cells together. That's what a glue like for them. So your vitamin C should be kept at an adequate level. Number one, the number two would be your iron. We need to keep our iron levels at an adequate level also because iron is the element, the mineral that carries oxygen around in the body. So it is important that we have adequate levels of iron. And a quick and easy bioavailable iron is blackstrap molasses, unsulfured. So you take a tablespoon of that every day. So you keep your iron level up so that your body is well oxygenated. Another important mineral element of importance to the body is calcium. You have many types of different calcium. You have the hard calcium, which is your bones and the teeth, and you have the liquid calcium, which is used to make the cells, the liver uses to make the cells. So we have to keep our calcium level up in the body because this is the basis. This is what is used to make those new cells. This is what is used also in healing. No healing takes place without adequate levels of calcium and vitamin C and iron. So they're basic minerals that our body need on a daily basis to carry out its processes of regeneration, of healing, etc. So these are some of the basic ones. And we can get our calcium through not milk necessarily, but which is a secondhand calcium. The cows eat the grass to make the milk. So just eat your greens. Eat your greens. And molasses is also high in calcium. So you take your molasses every day and you have greens, or you do your green juicing and keep your calcium level up in the body.
You did mention like calcium and iron. What are some signs, like let's say someone doesn't know that their calcium levels or iron levels are low. What are some signs that they can look for to see if their levels are too low?
Okay, for calcium, it would be, of course, cavities. If you're having cavities, then you know your calcium, you're deficient in calcium. For people that are easy in terms of fractures, bone fractures and breakage in the bones, etc. People that are hard to heal, healing is not taking place easily. Your body is taking so long to heal. You're low in vitamin C, you're low in calcium. The body is not getting the nutritional support. As I had said before, every 6 months, our body regenerates their new cells, new organs, etc., new and so we need to give it that. If we do not give the body the nutritional support that it needs to make those new cells, to make those new organs, to make those new systems, the new you, it holds on to the old ones. It would not release them. And therefore, you are really operating on expired cells. And these expired cells are very inefficient because their lifespan is over, because your body is not getting the nutritional support to build new ones. So it's for survival's sake, it's holding on to the old ones. And therefore that you find that you start having health issues, degeneration starts in your body. and it will manifest itself according to the area of weakness, according to your genetics, etc. Whether it is in the form of diabetes, or whether it's in the form of inflammation and pain joints, or whether it is in the form, as I said before, cavities or fractures. It will manifest itself in some way or another. And it depends on where it manifests itself. Then you know where your deficiency or where your weaknesses are. But you can tell when there is a weakness or deficiency, or in any of those vitamins or minerals, according to what is taking place. You're low in energy, you're tired, you cannot even go through the day, you're sleeping on yourself all the time. Another thing is irritability, because it affects our mood. When certain deficiencies are apparent in the body, or certain elements, minerals are low in the body, you're very irritable, because it affects your brain function, especially the potassium and the magnesium and those things that the brain need for proper functioning and hydration. If it is a water deficiency, dehydration, and start having headaches and fuzziness, and these things get you irritable, you lose your temper, it changes your personality. Your personality and your way of interacting with people, your mood swings, etc. All of these are dependent on your the level of minerals, whether you're adequate or whether you're deficient in those things. So it could manifest itself in numerous ways.
Mhm. So you mentioned some wonderful tips for us to build up our immune system. So for those who are immunocompromised, is there any special steps that they have to take, or can they follow these same steps as well?
These are general to everybody, but those people that have immune diseases, that again, everything has a cause. There is nothing without a cause. There's a cause for everything. So you'll have to find out the cause. What is causing your immune compromise? Is it your diet? Is it your sleep? Some people work at night, they do not sleep properly, etc. What's something in your environment? Some toxins or etc. and environmental toxins. What is it that's causing that compromise in your immune system? Is it too much inflammation, too much of an acid, foods too high in protein that requires much more acid to break down? So you have to identify what it is that's causing that, and then you eliminate it, and then you correct it. As I said, the body has the inbuilt capacity to heal itself and to regenerate itself and to build back up itself if we give it the mineral support, if we give it the nutritional support that it needs. So it's a matter of identifying what is causing, to be specific to those that have immune issues. You have to identify what is causing your immune. Is it an allergy? Some people say they're allergic to carbs. Some people say they're allergic to grains. Some people say they're allergic to some of those GMO foods that they have now on the market. Some people, it is wheat. They cannot take in wheat. So find out what triggers it for you, or what causes it. Journal your eating and see when you have your flare-ups, so that you can identify the cause of it, and then you correct it accordingly. God, there's a cause. Nothing happens by happenstance. Sometimes, and many times, it is a mineral imbalance. So you're having a lot of allergies to something because there's a mineral imbalance in the body. And therefore, there's overreaction and over stimulation of the immune system. So the immune system sometimes starts fighting its own self, almost getting cannibalistic. And if you correct that mineral deficiency, sometimes it corrects itself. Many times it corrects itself. So again, it's identifying what is causing the compromise to your immune system, and to eliminate it and to correct it and to build back up the system.
Yes. At the beginning, you did talk about how you said there was physical steps, there was mental steps, and there's spiritual steps as well. Do you mind just briefly sharing some spiritual steps that people could take to strengthen their body as well?
We are spiritual beings. For those that believe in God, I believe in God. I believe in the creation story. He created us. He created us in His image, and He created us to worship and glorify Him. That's our purpose for living. That's our reason. And anytime that dimension is missing in your life is unbalanced. There is a void that nothing can fill. Whether it is entertainment, it doesn't matter. Whether it is it is sex, whether it is money, whether it is things, it cannot fill that void. You may get some sort of satisfaction, but it's temporary, it is transitory, it's over, and then the void remains. Nothing can fill that void that the Lord has placed there for Him to inhabit, and He alone can satisfy. So when you do not satisfy that, there's always some longing and there's always some pursuit after some passion to fill it, but it is never satisfying. That void is always there. And the way to fill that void is to get connected to God, stay connected with Him. And we can do that through many ways. We can stay connected to God through prayer. We can connect to God through singing. We can our own form of worship, talking to God, connected to Him through studying of His Word, through walks in nature, and getting to know Him through nature when you behold His handiwork, the stars at night, the firmament, as He says in His Word. So there are many ways in which you can connect to God, but it is important. You can connect to God also through your association by like-minded people, which we used to do through before this COVID shutdown. Now it is social distancing, which I think is very destructive to the immune system too, because we are social beings. We were made to socialize, and this distancing is destructive to our immune system. And I feel sorry for those people that live alone and have no companions or nobody, and they should get a way of still filling that void, whether it is through Zooming as we are doing, or whether it is through phone calls, or again, listen to the Bible or read the Bible, put on songs. You need something to motivate you to keep your spirits up, because a depressed spirit, as the Bible said, it breaks the spirit, it dries up the bones. A merry heart is good like medicine. So that spiritual part is very important for healing. Very important. You can be doing everything right. You can be taking all the nutritional support you want, all the minerals, you can be eating right. And if that connection is missing, the spirit is depressed and everything, things cannot function. And it has a physiological effect on us, because your body actually, the marrow in your bones actually physically, realistically dries up when your spirit is broken. And there are those negative toxins and chemicals that are released in the body that have an impact on the organs and the systems, as opposed to when you're happy and interacting and socializing and connected. They're what we call happy hormones, happy chemicals that are released into the body, that are healing to the body, that buoys the spirit up, and keep you happy and motivated and enthusiastic about life. So the spiritual connection, the social connection, the mental connection, your outlook on life, the way you deal with stress, the way you deal with challenges, these are very important. And even if with those shutdowns and those social distances, people should find a way. You be creative, be innovative, use your common sense, find a way to connect, find a way to interact with people, whichever way it is possible to connect with God, to keep your spirits up, to keep motivated, to keep happy, to keep joyful, so that has an impact on your immune system.
Yeah, I really liked how you mentioned like the spiritual part, because like God gave us like the health message as well. So but you can, even though you have like the health message, if you aren't spiritually connected to Him, then you're not,
Right.
you're unequal, unbalanced, as you said. And I also heard like in the news, they said during this COVID time, a lot of people are experiencing like anxiety and depression, and which is
Mhm.
really sad, because like you don't really have to experience anxiety and depression, because Jesus said, like, cast all your
No,
cares and all your anxieties on me,
yeah,
because He cares for you.
exactly.
So like I think it's like a very important thing to know, is that like you need both this physical and the spiritual part to be spiritually whole. Thank you, Auntie Sonia, so much for joining me on Let's Talk. Before we close, do you mind just giving a short like recap of everything that you talked about today, and maybe like just a few highlighted tips that can help people?
Okay, so let us see where we start. Okay, I think I started with the foundation,
Mhm.
the basic, that we were made from the earth, that we were made from dirt. If you believe in the creation story, and everything that comes from the dirt is more compatible to your body. I'm not promoting vegetarianism. I'm just saying it is the most healthy way of living, and these things that come from the ground are just the most easier for your body to digest and to assimilate and to benefit from, as opposed to things that are processed and refined, that are most times toxic, and that are most times create acid in the body. We have to be in tune with our bodies. We have to be aware of what's going on to our body. We have to listen to our bodies and attend to them. There are many dimensions to our bodies, and we went through the different 7 channels of elimination when it comes to detoxing the body. I was saying that you have to keep the body clean to strengthen, in order to strengthen your immune system, especially in this virus environment that we're in. First, you make sure that you're hydrating adequately every day. And there's a little formula for that. I said half of your body weight. So I'm 120 pounds. So it's about 60 ounces of fluids. That could include your juicing, your teas, and your water. And you take it systematically, about 4 ounces every 50 minutes, 8 ounces every half hour. Your body can only process so much and no more. You mustn't gulp the water. There's a saying in the health world that you chew your water and drink your food. So you chew your water, meaning even your water has to be processed. So even that should stay in your mouth and mix with your saliva a little. And you drink your food, meaning you have to masticate thoroughly, liquefy your food before you swallow it. So that digestion of the carbohydrates, are in the mouth, in the saliva. So everything takes place in a liquid form in the body. And the cells are so small, and these nutrients have to enter the cells. So if you're eating in chunks and there are no teeth in your body, you're just eliminating what you have eaten. You're not benefiting from it. So you could be eating and still be malnourished because you're not digesting, you're not assimilating the nutrients. So we have to detox we went through detoxing the respiratory system, which are the lungs, deep breathing, oxygen on the outside, open a window, open your door, go outside in your yard, whatever you have to do. You need the sunshine, you need the vitamin D. It affects your sleep, it affects your digestion, it affects your elimination. That's a must. You get some sun on your skin, even if it is by sitting by your window every day. That's important. Your nutrition, watch your diet, keep it clean. You eat on time. Your body likes regularity. You eat on time every day. That affects your elimination also. So the body knows when digestion will take place. It knows when elimination should take place. Be regular. Be clean with your diet, your fruits, enough fruits and vegetables to get your adequate amount of minerals that you need to support the regeneration and the healing of your body. We went through the detoxing of the kidneys through the parsley tea and distilled water. We went through the liver. You can do that many ways with lemon water. You can do that with dandelion root tea. You can do that with milk thistle tea. You can do it with coffee, organic coffee, enemas. We did the dry skin brush. You get your skin brush and you just brush yourself in the upward motion towards the heart. Your whole body take out those dead cells so that your skin can breathe and detox itself adequately. We did the colon for fiber, adequate amounts of fiber, psyllium husk, adequate amount of water to brush out the colon and give it a clean out, periodically. And then after you detox, you hydrate, then you build up the system through proper nutrition, through juicing, through your herbal teas. If you have a specific issue to address, a disease or something that you are addressing, then that has to be addressed specifically, because there's a cause for everything. There's a cause for everything. You address the cause, you identify the cause, and then you address it. That's the only way you'll get permanent results, and not just addressing symptoms all the time. There are many things that you can do immediately in this COVID environment. If you feel like you're getting sick, you're having a fever, you hydrate, number one. You stop eating so that the body can use the energy to heal and to repair itself. You detox, and then you start building your juicing. And so there's some quick infusions of vitamin C we can do through an onion soup, which is just a vegetable broth with the onions cut up in there. Just boil it for 15 minutes and then you drink it. A lot of hot teas, these are good. A lot of hot teas, and the steam also of garlic and onion and garlic, onion, turmeric, lemons. You drink, you breathe in the steam while it is boiling on the fire. If you're prone to inflammation, then turmeric is good. Ginger is good for that. You need to keep the inflammation and the acid on the low. You need to keep sugar out, refined sugars on the low or out of your diet altogether. This suppresses the immune system. So there are many things that we can do to help ourselves at home Many things that you can do to help yourselves at home that you do not necessarily have to go to a doctor for, that you do not necessarily have to spend a lot of money on, that you can just help yourself to maintain your health, and to build your immune system so that you can resist whatever is out there. And lastly, we spoke about our mental outlook. We spoke about the spiritual dimension, the social dimension. Interact with people, call somebody, talk, put on music, be happy, dance. Even if you're dancing alone by yourself, do something. Keep yourself happy, keep your spirits up, because sadness dries up the bones, the marrow, and it suppresses the immune system. That isolation is not good. It suppresses the immune system, and it weakens your ability to fight the viruses and to overcome it should you be attacked by it. So connect with somebody, a church member, a friend, a relative, a neighbor. Open your window, say hello to your neighbor, laugh, talk, reminisce, share stories, childhood stories, do something. Read your Bible every day, pray, put on uplifting music, sing together with the music. Just do something to keep yourself happy and trust God that this too shall pass. And He is in control, and He knows everything that's going on, and He sees and He hears, and He will step in and intervene at the appropriate time when He sees fit, in the way that He sees fit. We just have to trust Him.
So thank you so much, Auntie Sonia, for joining me today on Let's Talk. Thank you for giving us different tips on how we can build our immune system, different ways that we can detox, and how, even though at the end of the day that you are physically fit, it's the spiritual part and having that balance between both of them, which really keeps us physically fit and able to fight this virus. So once again, I just want to thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll talk next week.